Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you how we can use Claude Code to build a lead scraper dashboard that's going to scrape thousands of leads for us. It's also going to create a personalized landing page for them with their name and their company name on the actual landing page, all completely autonomously. It's going to be done in one singular prompt. I'm going to give you the prompt below, but without further ado, let's see how this works. So we have this lead scraper dashboard that was built by Claude Code. We can put in the job title, the country, the state, and the number of leads. The minimum leads is 100 for the scraper that we use, which is on Apify, but we'll get into that later. And when I press scrape leads, you can now see it's actually scraping them leads. It's not just going to find the lead's email and the company, it's also going to find their LinkedIn, and it's going to scrape their LinkedIn account also. After we scrape their LinkedIn account, it's going to combine all of that data and put it out here in the leads table. We'll be able to see the personalized URL over here. So you can see right now it's scraping the leads. It's now enriching 84 LinkedIn profiles. So it found 84 LinkedIn accounts, and it's now going to scrape their actual LinkedIn account. And now after it's done, you can see we have the person's name, the email, the company they work for, their LinkedIn profile right here. It has also scraped their LinkedIn profile, so it has all of their recent posts. And if we see now the most important part and what separates this from any other lead scraper is we have the person's name here, which is Amy Albers, and the company she works for is Double Edge Real Estate. If we copy this personalized URL and we come over here and we put that URL into here, you can see we built this specifically for Amy at Double Edge Real Estate Inc. So it creates this personalized landing page for her, and you can put anything on this landing page. So the landing page is basically a template, and you get to put in the person's name and the company that they work for up here. We can try a different one. So let's say we have Kimberly down here, Kimberly at Gibson Realty. If I copy this, you can come back up here and change this to Kimberly, and you can see now we built this specifically for Kimberly at Gibson Realty. And we have the full landing page as to how we sell AI automation to real estate agents. So without further ado, I'm going to show you exactly how we can build this. I'm going to leave all the resources below so you can build this for yourself. So let's jump straight into it. Alright, so there's a couple of things we need to do first. Firstly, you need to be able to use Claude Code. So you're going to come over here to VS Code, and in here you're going to download this for your Mac. Just download that for now, and when you open it, you will see something like this. When we see something like this, we're going to come over here and press open a folder, and this is going to prompt you to open a folder anywhere on your computer. For me, I like to store all of my stuff over here in my Claude Code folder, and I'm going to store this one as lead scraper landing page. Let's press create, press open, and now we have somewhere here in which we can start using Claude Code. Now when we come to here, you're going to have to download Claude Code. So you come over here to the extensions, which is on the left hand side over here, and look up Claude. You'll see this one that is verified by Anthropic. You can download this. When you download that, you can come back up here to your file explorer, and you can see we have this lead scraper landing page open, which is the one that we've just opened on our computer. And if we want to use Claude Code, we click this button over here, and now we are on Claude Code. Now I've made this prompt so you only have to give it one prompt in order to build out this entire system. The prompt that we're going to use is this one right here. I've done a lot of research. I've built this out multiple times, spent hours building it out, and this is how you're going to build this in literally one shot. And this is basically an SOP for Claude to follow this build. So it says this SOP guides the AI code agent to build a custom cold outreach system for real estate agents in a single implementation pass. The system integrates lead scraping via Apify, LinkedIn enrichment, database storage, and multi-section marketing landing pages. Then we give it the phases on how to build this. So like I mentioned, I'm going to leave this below, but what you can do up here is firstly come up here when you get this, press download, and come over here to where it says download as a markdown file. So we can download like this. We now have this system build SOP as a markdown file. So I'm going to come back over here to Claude Code, and I'm going to drop that file into the left section over here. So you can see we have the system build markdown file. We can drop it in here, and now we have it over here as a markdown file. Now, before we do that, there's one thing that we need to do, and I need to show you how we actually do the scraping. The scraping is done over here on a software called Apify. Now, Apify gives you $5 worth of free credit, so most of the time you won't even have to upgrade or pay for a single thing to run this. So to get Apify, obviously come over here to Apify, sign into account, come over to your console, and you will be able to search through a bunch of different scrapers. So you can see here there's a bunch of different scrapers on my homepage, but if we come up here to the Apify store, there's two scrapers we need. The first scraper is going to be one to scrape leads, and the second one is going to be one to scrape leads LinkedIn account. So after we find the lead, we want to get all of their LinkedIn details. So firstly, let's find lead scraper. So in here, I'm going to look up lead scraper, and you can see here we get a couple of options right here. The one we want to use is by Peaky Dev, and it's this one right here. So this one is Peaky Dev Lead Scraper PPE. That's not the one we want to use because it costs too much. We want to use this one over here, which is just Peaky Dev Lead Scraper. So this is the actual one we want to use. Now you don't have to worry about coming over here to grab this because I've already included it in the prompt. The only thing you need to do over here is get your API key, but I just want to show you what type of scrapers we're using. So that's the first scraper we're using, which is going to scrape a lead. So if I come in here into the run section, you can see any previous runs that we've done. This one has scraped over 200 leads for us. So you can see this scrapes all the leads. Claude is going to orchestrate all of this. So whenever it scrapes, Claude will gather the details. Now you can see when we scrape a lead, it also outputs their LinkedIn URL. Now, in order to get the details from their LinkedIn URL, we're going to need to use a LinkedIn scraper as well. So we're going to come back over here to the Apify store. We're going to look up LinkedIn profile scraper, and you can see we have the first one here by Dev Fusion is a mass LinkedIn profile scraper. So this is the second one we're going to use. Now the only thing we need for this prompt is the actual API key. So when you sign into Apify, come down here to where it says settings. You're going to come up here to where it says API and integrations, and we're going to copy this API key here. That's all we need. We can send this prompt off now. So we have this prompt up here. I'm going to tell Claude Code, can you start building and acting on, and then I'm going to do an @ sign, and we're going to put in that system build SOP. When we give this off to Claude, make sure we put it in plan mode first, so it knows right now just to plan out what you're going to do, although we've given it an SOP. And up here we can switch models. Typically Sonnet 4.6 can get this right in the first go. Obviously Opus 4.6 is a lot more capable, but that's going to cost you a couple of extra tokens. So I'm going to use Sonnet 4.6 for this, and we're going to send that off. Now that API key that we just copied from Apify, eventually when Claude Code finishes, it's going to tell us, well, I need your API key to be able to run those Apify scrapers. So that's when we're going to put that in. You can see Claude Code has created some to-dos in order to build out this workflow. Okay, so Claude has just come back to us and it said, I've read the SOP in full. The project directory is empty except for the spec. No code has been written yet. The SOP is extremely detailed and essentially pre-specifies the entire architecture. Before I finalize the plan, one critical question, and this is where it's going to ask us about the API key. So it says, do you have an API key ready to add to the env file, or should I build something with a placeholder for now so you can fill it in before running live scrapers? We can say, because we've just copied our key, I have my API key ready. Alright, so it comes back with the plan that it wants to begin. We're just going to press yes, looks right, submit the answers. Alright, so the build is now coming to an end. You can see it asked me for my Apify API key, in which we just pasted it in here. You scroll down a bit, it's now continuing to build, and now it says everything is live and working. Here's what I built, the files that it created, not really important to us, but for now it says the server is now running on localhost. Localhost just means on your computer. It's basically a test URL until you deploy this. But if we go over to the localhost, everything should be running normally. So you can see here we have the type of leads that we can scrape. Again, you can see up here is hosted on localhost. So if you try to give other people access to this, it wouldn't work because they're not on your computer. But if we come over here and we look up maybe graphic, let's say we wanted to find graphic designers. So I'm going to look up graphic design in the US. We're going to scrape 100 leads. I'm going to press scrape leads, and you can see now it's going to begin scraping those leads. Now what's going to happen is it's going to trigger this Apify scraper. As you can see over here, it's scraping all of them leads. Total pages found 23, total leads found 2,232. Should only output 100 because that's what we asked for. But you can see right now it's scraping the leads. Whenever that finishes, we should see the LinkedIn one trigger also, so we can scrape all of the LinkedIn accounts. So you can see right now this one is still running. If we come over here to the dashboard, it still says scraping leads. So you don't have to even look at Apify. The dashboard is really doing everything for you. But we can see what's going on in the back end if we look over here. So you can see it's now still scraping all of those results. And now when it finishes, you can see we've done, so it has stored 178 leads. Not sure why we've put in 100 here. Obviously you can go back to Claude and just mention that it scraped more than you asked for, but you can see right now we have all of the leads, and most importantly we have what we looked for. So we have Heidi Winstead, we have her email, we have her company, which is US Government Accountability Office, we have her city, San Francisco, her LinkedIn account, and all of these scrape details, so like her posts. And then we have the URL right here, in which we can copy this URL. We can come over and see what it looks like. So let's say we come over here. Before Heidi at the US Government Accountability Office, we integrate AI automation into real estate businesses in San Francisco. You can see it changes this to whatever city the person is in. So if we look at Heidi over here in the dashboard, you can see she's in San Francisco. So it makes this dashboard, so it makes this landing page specifically for the lead. Obviously this landing page is for real estate agents. That's why we have all of the real estate agent stuff, but we get all of that personalization up here, and then the rest of this is basically just a template that the AI will build the same for every single person. So the AI is not going to build this over and over again for each person. It's just a template. It uses these variables right here and whatever the person's name is. So you can see up here, name equals Heidi, company equals US Accountability Office, and the city is San Francisco. So it will just swap these in as a variable. So for each person, it's just going to continue to swap these in. You can make this landing page better if you want. You can do whatever you want to do, and just make it better once over here on Claude. Maybe come over here to Claude and say, we want to add this, we want to take this away. Just make sure that we keep the personalized variables, and Claude will fix all of that for you. Now because this is on a local host, we obviously need to publish this live to Vercel. If you want to do that, I'm not going to do it in this video. I've made the last 4 or 5 videos how to actually publish to Vercel and add Supabase as the backend so you can store all of your leads. If you want to watch that, it's going to be one of the videos on the right or the left of the screen. If you go to the end of the video, you should be able to see me deploying it to Vercel and adding Supabase as a backend so we can store all of the leads or whatever I'm building in that video. But that's going to be it for this video. If you want to download the prompt that I use in this, click the second link below.